Subscribe now. EU Debates.
Today, courage has a name, and that name is Ukraine. Courage has a face, and that face is the face of Ukrainian men and women who are standing up to the Russian aggression. I remember a moment in the early weeks of the invasion when the First Lady of Ukraine, Olena Zelenska, gathered the parents of Ukrainian children killed by the invader. Hundreds of families for whom the war will never end and for whom life will never go back to what it was before. We saw the First Lady leading a silent crowd of heartbroken mothers and fathers and hang small bells in the trees, one for every fallen child. And now these bells will ring forever in the wind. And forever, the innocent victims of this war will live in our memories. And yes, she's here with us today. My dear Olena Zelenska, it took immense courage to resist Putin's cruelty. But you found the courage, and a nation of heroes has risen. Today in Ukraine stands strong because an entire country has fought, street by street and house by house. And we are seeing in the last days the bravery of the Ukrainians is paying off. Ukraine stands strong because people like your husband, President Zelensky, have stayed in Kyiv to lead the resistance, together with you and your children. You have given courage to a whole nation. You have given a voice to your people on a global stage. You have given hope to all of us. So today we want to thank you and all Ukrainians. Glory to a country of European heroes, Slava Ukraini. Europe's solidarity with Ukraine will remain unshakable. From day one on, Europe has stood at Ukraine's side with weapons, with funds, with hospitalities for refugees, and with the toughest sanctions the world has ever seen. Russia's financial sector is on life support. We have cut off 3/4 of Russia's banking sector from international markets. Nearly 1,000 international companies have left the country. The production of cars fell by 75% compared to last year. Aeroflot is grounding planes because there are no more spare parts. The Russian military is taking chips from dishwashers and refrigerators to fix their military hardware because there are no semiconductors anymore. Russia's industry is in tatters. And it is the Kremlin that has put Russia's economy on the path of oblivion. That is the price for Russia's and Putin's trail of death and destruction. And I want to make it very clear. The sanctions are here to stay. This is time for us for resolve and not for appeasement. This has to be very clear. The same is true for our financial support for Ukraine. So far, Team Europe has provided more than 19 billion euros in financial assistance, and this is without counting the military support. And we are in for the long haul. Ukraine's reconstruction will require massive resources. For instance, Russian strikes have damaged or destroyed more than 70 schools. 500,000 Ukrainian children have started their school year in the European Union, but many other Ukrainian children simply do not have a classroom to go to. And you told me yesterday, dear Olena, that every day when the parents are sending the children to school, they don't only give them the school bag, but also an emergency bag with water, with food, with Band-Aids, medical supply, with socks and an underwear to change. And just imagine you send in the morning your child to school, handbag to school, and you do not know whether you're going to be reunited in the afternoon after school. So, my dear Olena, I am announcing that we will work with you to support the rehabilitation of damaged Ukrainian schools. We will provide what you need. This is 100 million euros, because the future of Ukraine begins in the schools and with the children. We will not only support financially, but also empower Ukraine to make the most of its potential. Ukraine has already a rising tech hub and is home to many very young, smart companies. So I want us to mobilize the full power of our single market to help accelerate growth and create opportunities. Please remember, in March we connected successfully Ukraine to our electricity grid. It was planned for 2024. We did it in 2 weeks only. And today, Ukraine is exporting electricity to the European Union. So I want to significantly expand this mutual beneficial trade. We have already suspended import duties on Ukrainian exports to Ukraine. We will bring Ukraine into our European free roaming area. It's really time to do that now. Our solidarity lines are a big success, and building on all of that, the Commission will work with Ukraine to go a step further and to ensure a seamless access to the single market of the European Union. Our single market is one of Europe's greatest success stories. We know the power that lies in the single market. So now it is time to make it a success story for our Ukrainian friends too. And this is why today I'm going to Kyiv to discuss all this with President Zelensky and to show him what the single market is as a potential for Ukraine's future too. My honourable members, one lesson from this war is we should have listened to those who know Putin, to Anna Politkovskaya and all the Russian journalists who exposed the crimes and paid the ultimate price, to our friends in Ukraine, Moldova, Georgia and the opposition in Belarus. We should have listened to the voices inside our union, in Poland, in the Baltics, and all across Central and Eastern Europe. They have been telling us for years that Putin would not stop.